Well, hello and welcome to Oxford Stadium for the opening of the Stones Bitter Championship, where today we see Bradford Northern entertain Widnes. We've just seen the Lord Mayor open up the new stand for Bradford Northern, £250,000 development, which many of the Bradford folk and supporters are hoping is going to be the start of a new era, a dawn of a new era for Bradford Northern. With the world record signing of Paul Newlove, 250,000, Paul Dixon brought in from Leeds, and of course Neil Holding coming from St Helens to be the assistant coach to Peter Fox. The teams today, Bradford Northern, have international David Watson at number 1, Roger Simpson at number 2, Kiwi Daryl Shelford at number 4, and of course Paul Newlove making his Oxford debut at number 4. Bryn McKebby, the former Widnes favourite, at number 5, Neil Summers and Derek Fox form a formidable half-back partnership. David Hobbs, last year's captain, he starts off at number 8, with maybe one or two people surprised to see Trevor Clark being favoured instead of Brian Noble. Roy Powell, the old Leeds favourites, at number 10, along with the two Pauls, also ex-Leeds players, Paul Medley and Paul Dixon in the second row, and once again another Leeds player, David Heron, at number 13. The Bradford Northern substitutes today are Steve McGowan, the beneficiary this year at Bradford Northern, at number 14, and John Hamer at 15. The Widnes side, rather strange looking Widnes side, of course, many exits from that side this year, and everybody wishes them well and hope they can maintain the high standards that they've set over the many years. Their team lines up is Stuart Spruce at 1, David Myers 2, Darren Wright at number 3, Carl Hammond at number 4, and Adrian Hadley, the club captain, at number 5. Half-back partnership of David Hume and Bobby Golding, and I'm sure that's going to be one of the interesting tussles today between Summers, Fox, Hume and Golding. Their pack is Andy Island number 8, Steve McCurry number 9, and Dave Smith number 10. Kiwis, Ensign Familo and Emosi Kaloto 11 and 12, with Paul Hume 13. Their substitutes today are Aidan Hadley and Paul Davidson. Well, the two captains, David Hume and Derek Fox, shaking hands with Mr. John Holsworth, the young mascot for today, Paul Davison. It's his 4th birthday. Both set of captains making him welcome. Well, with us here, Phil Cook from the Widnes Club. Paul Cook, sorry about that, Paul. Paul, much has been said about the players who have left Widnes over the season, but they've obviously always been a hotbed for producing their own talent. I know it's going to affect them greatly, but do you feel confident they're going to have the strength in depth to be able to compete this year?
It's the strength in depth that's going to be the problem. I think when they get the first choice 13 on the field, there won't be too many teams they'll be frightened of, because they've still got a lot of star players and a lot of internationals. But what you were saying about being a hotbed of local talent, it's going to be the local talent that will be relying on this year. They've made David Hume captain after his brother Paul was captain last year. They've got 2 local lads, Stuart Spruce and Bobby Goulding, who will both be looking for test places, and another David Myers on the wing, who we all know has already represented Great Britain under 21 level and been in the full test squad. So if they can bring on 2 or 3 more younger players from the A team, as well as giving Phil Larder perhaps a little bit of money to strengthen the team, once they get the finances sorted out, that may be enough to pull them through. So Derek Fox gets the season underway, and Isini Faimarlo making the first charge for Widnes. David Myers coming in off the wing, and a good chance as Faimarlo makes taking play up to halfway. Myers with a good strong run. He showed 1 or 2 of those against St Helens in the charity game last weekend. And McCurry takes the tap himself. No marker in front. And this has been a good set of tackles so far from Widnes. Taking play deep into the Bradford half. Goulding on the run around with Coloto. Picks up David Hume, that's a good tackle. The Widnes move stopped dead. Ball back to Goulding for the drop goal attempt. And that one waved away, much to the delight of the Bradford crowd. But Widnes coming away well from that kick-off, taking play up to the Bradford 22 and ending the set of 6 tackles with a drop goal attempt.
Well, thank you, Paul. Bright start there from Widnes. A little bit of variation. Bobby Golden getting involved earlier on as Bradford Northern drive the ball, and it's Paul Dixon taking the ball just to the 10-metre line. Roy Powell and David Hobbs giving alternates, and a nice break by Hobbs. Just couldn't quite manage to get the pass away there. David Hobbs, the former captain, of the side, and straight away Mr. Holes was standing no nonsense. It is an area of the game that the referees have stated they're going to clamp down on this year. Mr. Lindsley, the president of the Rugby League, said it was an area that he wants cleaning up, is to play the ball. He wants the ball played a lot faster so play can continue. And we see the referee straight away standing no nonsense. Let's just hope Paul is consistent as the game goes along. So it'll be Derek Fox, Trevor Clark, dummy run through, and it's Paul Medley. Paul Medley been in devastating form just recently. Once again we see the Widnes interfering. Powell looking to set things up for Bradford. It'll be Derek Fox going to first man along with David Hobbs. David Hedden playing a little bit wider. He turns nice inside. Lovely ball inside to Watson. Watson the danger man. This time just can't get the ball away. He's still trying. Good tackle by Golding, but the crowd showing their appreciation. Trevor Clark goes away from acting half-back. David Hobbs takes the ball to the post, giving the Bradford team a couple of options. Fox, the dummies inside. Loses the ball though, and that's not the best set of play from Bradford. Good defence for Widnes though, Paul.
Yeah, they held it well close to their own line. I think one or two worrying signs was how easily David Herron opened them up with a little sidestep, and Herron's been a thorn in the Widnes side a number of times when he's played against them, so I think Widnes will have to watch him coming up quickly. But Widnes again showing plenty of enthusiasm with the ball, already taking play up to halfway. Andy Ireland gets a good pass away, and Steve McCurry looking for some support. Again takes the tap himself, but this time Mr. Holes had said he never played it with his foot, just touched the ground with the ball. So Widnes will be giving up possession and a penalty to Bradford, and already the second penalty conceded. The first for holding down, giving Bradford a good attacking opportunity in the Widnes half.
Well, that's twice Widnes have tried that quick play of the ball. The first time they managed to get away with it. That time, nothing wrong. In the way, just the way that he played the ball, didn't actually get his foot to it, so the referee penalised him straight away. But it's something Bradford are going to be careful of, obviously. Phil Ladd has told the Widnes players, quick play the ball. Probably feels that maybe the Bradford pack is a little bit vulnerable around the rucks, so that's where they're going to Widnes will looking to exploit it. Cal Fairbank, sorry, not Cal Fairbank, is Paul Dixon. Very, very similar players. These, of course, as I mentioned before, live within 3 or 4 miles of each other. Both farmers on the Yorkshire moors as Fox chips one through. Good ball to Kebby. Kebby obviously looking to impress, but David Myers has the ball covered. Paul Newell has yet not seen the ball. One has to give credit to Bradford Northern. For a long, long time, always been regarded the poor relations of Leeds and possibly Halifax, but this time they really put the boat out, splashing out a record fee for Newell and not getting Paul Dixon cheap, really. 30-year-old ex-Great Britain and Leeds forward, looking to form a formidable back row partnership with Cal Fairbank, who unfortunately didn't make the starting lineup today, got a bruised foot. But once again, a little bit of poor tackling there from Bradford. That's McCurry. Getting Hume with a chip through. That'll be down in the corner. Look as though he's just getting a little bit too much so, and not the best of kicks, and I don't think his coach will be too happy with that one. Allowing Bradford to relieve the pressure with a tap on the 22. So in this really Bradford not showing many options there, straightforward drivers. Powell leaving to play the ball. This time it's Medley coming through, but once again the Widnes defence strong. It's more like it from Bradford. Paul Dixon looking to unload. Players in support. Obviously one of the strong points of Dixon's game. A bit of an altercation with young Andy Ireland. I haven't seen much of this Andy Ireland, Paul. Is he went out to the juniors? Is it his debut? I haven't heard of him before.
He did play last season, just one game, but Phil Larder actually has high hopes for him. He is a young player, but he seems to have plenty of size on his side, and if they can work on him a little bit, he expects to be really pushing for a permanent first team place, even when one or two of the more regular established players are fit enough to play. It was an excellent tackle by Ireland earlier on Paul Dixon, dumped the Great Britain forward on his back, and that should give him a lot of confidence. David Smith, a late replacement in the side for Harvey Howard, who returned from Australia with an ankle injury. And Goulding taking the kick, puts it behind Simpson. And that ball finds touch deep in the Bradford 22, and it was a feature of Goulding's game against St Helens last week. His touch finding kicks, all to perfection, all finding the sideline deep in the opponent's half. So Bradford will set this scrum and would expect possession with their own feed.
Very, very rare, you say, Paul, that the feed goes against the head. This time it's Roger Simpson, Mr. Versatile as is known at Bradford Northern. So it's Newlove will follow his first touch of ball swing, very, very strong, but an elementary error there from young Newlove, but didn't eventually like the tackle from Myers. Not the first touch you'll want to remember. Taking the ball into touch on the second tackle, handing over possession to Widnes.
He was almost too desperate to impress Paul Newlove then, hadn't had a run so far. And Widnes for the third time, giving up field position. They'd taken that scrum, looking to work a move on the blind side. And Mr. Holdsworth penalising them, breaking from the scrum too early. So this kick should push Widnes deep back into their own half.
Yes, a bit of a technicality, that one. I think the referee penalising Paul Young for breaking away from the scrum too soon. And Trevor Clark very wisely. Well, David Hobbs were offside there. Mr. Holdsworth missed that one. If he's going to be particular about the way he's refereeing the game, he's got to be seen to be consistent in his decisions as Roy Powell drives the ball in. Really, the game not beginning to flow yet, but well, once again, Widnes looks as though this indiscipline could be costed to them, Paul. I think that's the fifth penalty they're giving away. That first of all for the swinging arm, and then for a little bit of dissent to Mr. Holdsworth.
Well, they've made such a good committed start, it'd be a shame to throw it away by allowing Bradford too much easy possession and what looks like it might be 2 easy points from in front of the posts. I don't think the coach, Phil Larder, could have asked for any more from the start. The players have looked very keen, they've run the ball well, the tackling's been good, but it seems that on 4 or 5 occasions so far they've let Bradford come back into the game, and now with those extra 10 yards, which I don't think before they were given, Fox would have taken a shot at goal, but now he's lined up straight in front of the post, and this should be an easy 2 to start off his account for the season. So Fox steps up right-footed, and in fact he's swung that one away, so that chance goes begging, and Bradford will get the ball back from the dropout. But I think Derek would have liked a better start than that. He couldn't have asked for an easier kick, perhaps in that occasion it was just a bit too straight. Might like a bit of an angle to swing it round.
Yes, Paul, I'm sure Derek will be very, very disappointed about that one. It has been something of a talking point at Bradford about who will be kicking goals for Bradford. David Hobbs been the regular kicker over a number of seasons now. Still an excellent kicker. Last year, Trevor Clark out of the break there, well fired by us. And I was just saying, last year David Hobbs was struggling a little bit with a groin injury, and Fox took over, and he's kept the kicking duties. But David Hobbs still a very, very reliable kicker, especially under pressure. So it's Watson getting very involved for the fullback. This time it's out to Clark. There's gaps out there, but Clark deciding to take the ball in. Widnes team coming up very best, playing a very, very tight defensive system at the moment. I've obviously got confidence in the pace out wide as David Hobbs with a little grubber kick through. Hadley's got the ball covered.
So Spruce coming away from deep in the left-hand corner. The worst field position Widnes have had so far in the game. They'll do well again to work this one up towards halfway. Marlow looking to struggle out the tackle. Just couldn't get away. And Widnes really wasting a tackle there. Should have been looking for the run of Coloto. He'd come up on the outside and now forced to kick downfield. And Goulding gained plenty of distance on that one. That's going to turn out to be an excellent kick. Watson looking for it to go dead. And the linesman agrees with him. He just had enough pace to reach the dead ball line. So Bradford starts again with a tap on the 22.
Yeah, that kick being a whisker away from being the perfect kick from Goulding. Clark getting very involved in the early stages of this game. Hobbs cuts inside once again. Hobbs keeping the ball alive. Northern looking to use Medley on the fringes. That's where he's most dangerous. And there we see the big blonde-haired second row man making some valuable yards. Northern persisting with this ball back inside. Nice change of play from Watson. Hobbs held the ball up nicely. Watson to Clark again. Clark to Shelford. It's a running chance for Simpson. The little fella bounces off one, cuts inside again, but that looked like a very high tackle. Well, there was no question about that. Simpson didn't get caught with that high tackle, but it's such a little fella. It is difficult at times for referees. That ball's gone back. Bradford Northern keep it alive and they have to Medley. Medley puts a chip through. Well, nice bit of put Milo.
And Spruce bounced off one tackle but caught by the second, and again a quick play of the ball brings Widnes another 25 yards. Spruce alive to that. And Goulding a little disappointed he didn't get the ball for the kick, but David Hume finding touch, the ball bouncing over the head of his former colleague Brian McKebby. And Fox just waiting for the packs to come together to restart play.
Brian McKebby, of course, coming to Bradford from Widnes via St Helens. Hasn't really had a chance to establish himself in the Northern lineup. He had an excellent start to the season last year, scoring 8 tries in 3 or 4 appearances, but then had a horrendous injury which kept him out virtually for the rest of the season. So he really will be looking to show his form to impress Peter Fox. But there's such competition for places at Bradford now with Tony Marchant and Jerry Cordell, Steve McGowan and Dio Powell, among others, who could be in contention for that wing position. So Bradford really not getting a roll on from these play the balls at the moment. Not able to put Widnes under pressure. This time it's Shelford making steady progress. Fox dictating play. David Heron. Lovely step inside, he's got men with him. Good ball to Watson, but Watson met by an excellent tackle by Goulding. So now it's Kebby. Kebby showing the outside, nice little chip through, and certainly taken out by Myers there. The linesman said it. Well, I don't think we can have he'll be given a penalty try, but it was certainly obstruction. An unnecessary penalty, I thought there, Paul, because I thought Spruce, the fullback, had the ball well covered, and David Myers just went in and took Kebby out. Maybe an old score to settle somewhere there.
But I don't think there is much love lost between most of the Widnes players and Brian McKebby. But I think you're right, Spruce looked to be behind the ball. He didn't quite get to it cleanly, but he was there to cover it. So whether it was just a natural reaction from one winger expecting another to go past him to take him out, but this has put Bradford in excellent position, probably the best of the match so far. Watson again in the line, and that ball just knocked forward by Goulding. I think he saved a certain strikes. If that ball had gone out, they would have been under the post. Goulding claiming it hit the Bradford player last, but I think he'd be lucky to get away with that one.
Yes, I think if he'd have caught that one, I'm not quite sure whether he would have made the 90 yards to the Bradford try line, but one of the things that certainly struck me at the moment is the involvement of David Watson, fullback, as Heron dominating his way through from the scrum. Had another one that's looked dangerous for Bradford. The line is 35, 36 years, as Dixon ploughs to the northern line. Trevor Clark calling the options, switches it blind to big David Hobbs. He's met by a reception committee of 4 or 5 Widnes defenders. It's Watson again to Fox. Fox sets inside, manages to keep the ball alive, but still looking a little bit scrappy from Bradford as the ball once again comes out now. Nice play from Summers. Good experience shown there by Carl Hammond. He stuck with his man, didn't take the inside dummy. This time it's Simpson trying to shimmy his way through. So Northern having the better of the exchanges of his last 10 minutes. This time it's Heron again. Heron wants a man to come short. He finds Dixon. Derek Fox pointing Dixon to the line, wanting to go straight. He loses the ball. The last tackle. Good defences by Wigan. Maybe a bit of lack of enterprise there from Bradford, but certainly Widnes so far standing under pressure.
Yeah, it was a good goal line stand by Widnes there. Bradford were always within 5 or 6 yards. I think they probably would have been better served trying to get it out to the centres a bit quicker. They have got 2 big centres but kept it tight in the forwards. Wright does well to recover after having the ball jolted from his grasp in that tackle. And Widnes giving the ball some air for virtually the first time, but Hadley, who hasn't had a pass to take, probably shows the reason why. Gives a knock on. Obviously been stuck out on the wing for the first quarter of an hour. When the first chance comes his way, he knocks on. So Widnes again, and it seems to have been a feature of the last few sets of plays they've had, that they've ended up gifting Bradford some possession either with a penalty or through a scrum.
Yes, the golden rule in today's game is that you don't hand over possession quite as easy as that. Derek Fox resumes play. Once again, Watson in the line. Drives the ball in. And once again, very, very slow with the play of the ball, Bradford. As Simpson decides to go from acting halfback. Fox to Heron. Heron held the ball up beautifully. He's got a man outside him. Decides to go himself. Looks at the little fella of the pace. An excellent individual try from Neil Summers. But let's not forget the work of David Heron. Excellent play by Heron. Beat the first line of defence. Beat the first line of defence and held that ball up superbly for the supporting Neil Summers, who had the power and the strength to go around Spruce to give Bradford Northern the first score of the season at Oxford Stadium.
And a blow for Widnes while we're waiting for this kick from Derek Fox is that Imosi Coloso seems to be heading off. Now whether it's a blood bin, it looks like it's going to be a blood bin substitution. Coloso with a cut head, just applying the sponge, and he'll be replaced by Paul Davidson. And Fox this time a little bit nearer than his last effort, makes no mistake from in front of the post. So after 21 minutes, Bradford leading by 6 points to 0.
So away go Widnes again. Really hard. No more than Northern deserve really for the pressure that they've been putting on the Widnes defence over the last 10 minutes. Very tricky kick. Widnes get possession with Stuart Wright. But once again, Widnes losing that ball on the first tackle, and really Lardy must be pulling his hair out. But holding down, so a little bit of reprieve for the Widnes line. I'm sure They'll go for goal with Widnes here.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what Widnes do from goal kicks this afternoon. They didn't have too successful an afternoon against St Helens, and having released Jonathan Davis and Andy Courier in the summer, they have got one or two people who have kicked goals in the past. Goulding for one, who looks like he's taking this kick. So this could be a real confidence booster for Goulding. He once kicked a goal in injury time to beat Widnes. So if you remember the style that gave him that, 2 points. And that one is successful. So Goulding does well to record Widnes' first points of the season, now trailing by 6 points to 2.
A little bit of indiscipline there, Bradford. David Hobbs having a word with Paul Dixon. Paul Dixon trying to explain his case. But I'm afraid if he looks in the paper tomorrow, he'll see that really is nothing to answer. So away goes Derek Fox again. I'm sure he'll be looking to kick this ball deep. Try and pin Widnes in the 25 and get him to there goes that deep kick.
So Paul Davidson with his first taste of the action, met by the two Bradford prop forwards, and a loose play the ball collected by David Smith, and he takes it up to the 22. And the Island makes another 10. And McCurry signalling for a faster play the ball. And Widnes with a very early kick. Goulding kicking a cross play, again behind Simpson. This one doesn't quite make touch. And Simpson, a very dangerous broken field runner, can't escape the Widnes chasers. So Bradford starting again just inside their own 22. And Watson, who's had an excellent game so far, met very quickly as he tried to get away from acting halfback. Now Fox onto Roy Powell. But the Widnes tackling so far in this set of 6 as much as they could hope for. Well, Bradford so far pinning their faith just on one-man rushes, and Fox decides that isn't the place to play it. Kicks it downfield. Spruce gathers and takes the tackle. Hadley, unsurprisingly going for a run himself, does well. Hasn't seen too much of the action, Adrian Hadley. Ireland, run around moving McCurry. That's a good ball for Marlow. He's got plenty of pace, the second rower, and men inside. And David Hume, the club captain, goes under the posts. And Widnes level at 6 points all. A superb try coming from a run-around move in midfield. Andy Ireland and Steve McCurry. A good ball to Asini Marlow, probably one of the paciest forwards in the game. He did well. Looked for a moment as though he might try to go himself, and he'd probably have the size to get rid of Dave Watson if he tried, but did the right thing, looked to his support, and there was David Hume to go under the posts. So that try, a worthy answer to the Bradford score earlier on.
Goulding once again trying to head on the extras. A position which he's no stranger to, really. Been a good kicker throughout his career, so Bobby Goulding's kick there, making the score 6 points to 8 in Widnes' favour. So really, Bradford Northern, as Paul said earlier, tending to play little one-man rushes, not looking to exploit round the fridges as they did earlier. Newell as yet hasn't seen much of the ball. I think he's only had that one pass. And if they are going to spend all this kind of money, surely a lot of their game plan must be geared up to getting the ball to Newell so they can exploit all his strength and power.
Myers in again off the wing. No chance to use his strength there as David Hobbs stands in his way, an imposing presence, Hobbs. And I think the Bradford fans, as John was saying, would be more impressed to see Newell with the ball in his hands rather than trying to stop second row forwards. well, all the Widnes team overran McCurry. I think the call had been for a kick. He looked round and saw everybody just running past him, so he took the kick himself and put that one into touch. So Fox away from the scrum base, and Summers really with nowhere to go. Caught by two Widnes defenders as soon as he caught that ball.
This time Newell having to drive the ball in. Adams worked his way around well. Once again, the Widnes defence very, very strong. Roy Powell. And the two other Bradford fans are becoming a little bit frustrated. Northern continue to try and plug away down the middle, and David Hobbs open plays out. So Newell's away. Done well, he's lost his winger. Kebby had gone inside. Clark tried to get it back inside. Bobby Golding got a hand to it. One or two of the Northern players thought that would have gone back and ignored it. Simpson's coming an excellent tackle, and it was needed as well there by Simpson.
Yeah, superb tackle, spotted the danger, came back off his wing, and the Bradford fans even more frustrated as a penalty's given away, and then an extra 10 yards. We're talking back to the referee. Well, they should have learned from earlier that Mr. Holdsworth isn't going to take any back chat. And Goulding, obviously with his confidence high, has pointed to the post from fully 40 yards. So Goulding just waiting for the new kicking tee to come on, not using the mound of sand. And if players aren't just going to make a hole in the ground, this is probably a better innovation than waiting for the sand bucket to come on and then waiting for a player to build a sand castle before kicking the goal. So Goulding already successful with 2 kicks. Taking his time to set himself. And that one has the legs, but not quite the direction. And that's a good break from behind his own post. Dave Watson certainly been one of the outstanding Bradford players so far, and the referee's going to call that one back. Again, much to the displeasure of the Bradford fans. Well, they're always debatable, I think. You never know whether the referee's just about to call held, has called held, whether the ball's been knocked out by an opposing player's hand. And Widnes, the ones to benefit, I'm sure they won't be complaining, as Goulding from the scrum feeds Spruce on the blind side, and Spruce breaks one tackle. So Widnes now with a good attacking position. Although they scored one try, they haven't really been able to put too much pressure on inside the Northern 22. Northern screaming for reinforcements on their left flank, which is the way Widnes are taking the ball now. Right, tight to the touchline. A bit too tight, really no chance to bring in Myers. And Myers escapes one tackle. And Widnes again moving the ball well. By Marlowe, an excellent pass around the corner, but Goulding caught just as he took it. McCurry, and Widnes again with men over. David Hume takes it himself, and Stuart Spruce is in. Stuart Spruce in at the corner. David Hume throwing the last man, and Spruce with plenty of size and enough pace to break the tackle, and he scores to give Widnes a 12-6 lead.
Yes, as you say, Paul, certainly going against the script as far as the home supporters are concerned. But once again, some very enterprising play there by Widnes. An excellent try. A lovely three-quarter move, passing along the line, the kind of rugby that the fans like to see. As once again, Widnes coming away very, very strongly. Only a good tackle from Newell, halting that little foray. This time it's Hume, but Newell. This time it's Medley who drives his man to the ground. Medley again. Bradford really going to have to move off the defensive line a little bit quicker. They're allowing Widnes to run at them. Good kick though, once again by Golding, pinning Bradford back in their own 25. And really, it's one has to say it's Widnes that have been a more enterprising side so far in this first half. Derek Fox, a little bit of delay in feeding the scrum, but eventually again managed to get the ball away. And once again, it's David Watson who's linked into the line, coming very close to the scrum though. Widnes managing to slowly play the ball down. Summers back inside to Shelford. Fox switching play to Dixon. Dixon met by a wall of Widnes defenders again. Better ball to Medley. Medley's seen the gap. And this is a little bit more enterprising from Bradford now. They managed to get that roll on that we spoke earlier. And this time, at last, the referee has seen. It was Paul Human had occasion. I think he fell asleep that time on Medley. So Bradford now with an opportunity to try and pull something back just before half time. 5 minutes to go. David Hobbs takes the ball from the set penalty into the Widnes line. Now wanting a quick burly ball from Hobbs. That's excellent play. Powell this time. Powell drives in. This time he can't unload. Good support play from Trevor Clark. But Northern looking for Fox. And really, I think Widnes have realised that wherever Fox is stood, the ball's going to go. And that's their marking system that they're adopting as Medley. Breaks out of one tackle, makes the extra yard. Head and floats one out to Simpson, who takes the ball very, very well. Well above head 8, but little fella jumped up, managed to pull it in. Being a good slip catch with that one. And once again, Fox. Long pass to Newlove. Newlove, has he got a chance to throw his strength? He has. He passed the ball back. Summers looking for try number 2. Just can't make the mind on that occasion. And that's a 6th tackle. That's a lot better play by Bradford, Paul.
Yeah, they made their way well there. Did the right thing close to the line. Tried to use Newlove's strength. He almost forced his way through. Still got a pass away. But Widnes, as they have done so far throughout the game, scrambling well and got enough players across there to make a difference as Bradford made the last surge. So now Widnes hoping to come away with the ball. A little chip ahead by Goulding. If the ball bounces kindly, he'll get to that first. He did do, but just couldn't quite direct his kick ahead. I'm sure he'd been looking for it to come to hand, so he could have got away with a sprint. But Goulding showing a lot of imagination there. He obviously knows that places in the Great Britain team are up for grabs with the Kiwis coming over on tour, and one of his chief rivals up against him today, Derek Fox. Both players, I'm sure, will be looking to catch Malcolm Reilly's eye, or Malcolm Reilly's scout's eye. Really in charge of his own team this season. That ball comes free. Widnes snap on it, but the referee is going to bring them back. Gives Widnes the feed. I'm sure Widnes would have preferred the advantage. Colosso running away with open field ahead of him. And Mr. Holdsworth not happy with that feed. The ball just seemed to bounce straight out. Goulding takes it along the line himself and kicks ahead for Myers to chase. Myers making ground on Kebby, and that one just beats them both to the corner. So Widnes again keeping Bradford pinned down. I'm sure they'll be happy to go in at half time with this scoreline. The half time hooter just a minute or so away, and whatever time the timekeepers have had to add on, but there haven't been too many stoppages. So Fox just waiting for this scrum to wheel round and restart play.
Well, as you say, Paul, I'm sure Widnes will be more than happy going in with that as a lead. But this time I think it was close on that occasion. Just letting Derek Fox know he's around, and giving Neil Summers the opportunity to take a little bit of pressure off the Bradford side. David Hobbs straight into 3 Widnes defenders. Widnes still moving up very, very fast. David Heron seems to be the only man who will be able to exploit this Widnes fence. Another superb ball from Heron. This time it's Newlove. Well, an excellent passage of play. Good individual play there by Bradford. First of all, Heron, and then Newlove. It's Fox again to Watson. Medley on the fringes, cutting back inside. Really, I think he took the wrong option there. Numbers outside. Decided to go himself as Roy Powell. On one of the rare occasions, lets the ball go. Simpson coming in for a piece of the action. And really, that's shoddy play from Bradford. Nothing constructive at all about it. Newlove has to go in and make another big tackle. But a little bit enterprising play from Bradford. They really spoilt themselves, losing their ideas a little bit in midstream there, Paul.
Well, the earlier break was certainly the best move they've put together in the match. Probably even better than a try. If somebody could have been up with Newlove to finish it off, they could have gone in again. But as you say, Roger Simpson attempting to take the play quickly, just losing out and giving Widnes back possession. And Widnes, as they have done on several occasions, done well to come much more than half the length of the field in the drives. And Myers pinpointed as offside by the referee. So Watson, safe catch. Easily makes ground away from Goulding. He's had a lot of work to do, Dave Watson. And Bradford maybe with one last chance before half-time to get an attack going.
David Heron again, holding the ball up. Finally giving it to Paul, but it's Doyle Dixon, but he's lost the ball. Was the ball stolen in a tackle? Yes, they've missed a Holworth. The Widnes players shake their heads in disbelief. It's a rule I must admit I'm not too keen on. Caused a lot of controversy. So, final couple of minutes once again. Very, very slow play of the ball as Heron eventually receives it. Cuts the ball back inside to Dixon. Dixon's done well. Showing good pace to Dixon. Good to Paul and a very high tackle that time on Fox. Powell drives the ball in, and I think Paul Young a little bit lucky to get away with that one. Well, there goes the final hooter. As we said, to be fair, I think Widnes just about deserving the 6-point lead. Bobby Goulding actually running the show for them, and I think so far he's probably just had the edge over Derek Fox.
I would have to say so. Fox just been in a distributive role so far, and Widnes have made the most of the chances that have come their way to score 2 tries and a half-time score that must delight the fans who've seen so many big-name players leave the club this summer due to the financial difficulties. But at half-time here at Odsal, Widnes leading, and deservedly so, by 12 points to 6. I cannot believe. So Widnes coming back out onto the field. Hopefully that's a measured walk of confidence. And doesn't like there are any changes so far. Paul Davidson, Aidan Halliwell making their way onto the bench. And I'm sure the word from Phil Larder at half-time would have been, let's have more of the same. There was a great commitment to the Widnes tackling. And while Widnes are still short of players, there's a chance for 1 or 2 people to really impress and stake a claim for the rest of the season. Andy Ireland, as we mentioned at the beginning of the tape, a player Phil Larder has already tipped to make his mark. Adrian Hadley on the left wing, so far only had a quiet game, but with 3/4 spots at a premium. And that's excellent play from Goulding straight from the kick-off. Great show of initiative from Goulding. Short kick, regathered it himself before any of the Bradford players had time to react. So Widnes in a good position straight away. David Smith, straight and hard, but that's a good tackle. Hobbs took him ball and all, put him on the ground. McCurry runs straight into the marker cover, looking for players either side, just took a little bit too long. Darren Wright out wide, steps back inside, through one tackle, but not through the second. And Spruce to the short side. Myers kicks ahead, and that's play on. And that ball just gathered right on the line. But Myers looking to take advantage of a lucky break there. Got his foot to it. Unfortunately for Bradford, Watson right on the line just to stop the ball. And the referee saying no knock on, so a safe gather means Bradford trying to move this ball away, but still tight to their own goal line. If no one makes a break in the next couple of tackles, I'm sure we'll see Boot puts the ball. And Spruce, making his way gingerly back to halfway, will be called into action again. And Fox, it is, the kick. That's a really good deep kick from Fox. It's hard to tell from our commentary position if there is a breeze, but it certainly looks to be helping that one, the same way that Goulding's kick went most of the length of the field in the first half. And good chasing by Fox. Hadley, breaking tackles, does well. Fox setting an example to his players there, getting up first after his own kick. Carl Hammond, again, not had a lot to do, but been safe so far. McCurry appealing to the referee. McCurry again, taking that short pass, spots a gap himself. Just not quite with the support at his shoulder. He's taken that tap, and again, the referee waves that away. So quick thinking by McCurry. He's done that a couple of times, but loses the ball. And now Bradford, with the fans behind them, starting to come away.
And once again, it's that man Summers helping the forwards out, driving the ball in as Hobbs loses the ball, but fortunately for Bradford, it went backwards. Now Nulov with his first really big chance of the game, decides to take Nulov on. He's pulled it up to Manning for Kebby. Has Kebby got the pace? Spruces across, and a wonderful try from Kebby in the corner. Showed excellent pace, and I'm sure he'll milk this one to the extreme. Just really what Bradford wanted. Really nothing on. Nulov getting the ball just outside the halfway line. Decided to take the Widnes defence on. Sucked in two defenders. Held the ball up beautifully for Kebby. And Kebby had the pace to really output, as they say in Australia, the two Widnes coverers for a very, very good try in the corner. And I'm sure one that'll do his confidence the world of good.
Well, that's really put the game on fire at the start of the second half.
Well, just to start, Peter Fox and the boys wanted. At half-time, Peter Fox going to great pains to emphasise on the Bradford players that he wasn't happy with the defence. He felt that Bradford were really getting caught standing on lots and lots of occasions, allowing the Widnes forwards to run at them. They're not the biggest set, but as he pointed out, no matter how big you are, if you've got a 10-yard start on somebody, you manage to get a certain amount of power. So that's what he wanted. That's what he wanted. In attack, he wants the ball played a little bit wider, and he wants a good kicking game from Derek Fox. The little bit of breeze that there is into Bradford's favour, and I think Bradford will be looking to play the game where it is now, deep in this Widnes 25.
Myers unable to escape the cover, and Widnes now with a lot of work on to move this ball away from their own line. David Hume looked to his forwards, but no one really keen to take that one on. And Widnes, who've just been caught cold by that try, really need to snap out of it, get things moving again, as David Smith drives up to the 22. The last thing Widnes need is to allow Northern to get something of a roll on. When they do, they're very dangerous indeed. And that pass bouncing up fortuitously off Imosi Coloto. So Bradford on the attack. Coloto kicking ahead, and a tackle count struck clean as Roy Powell drives the ball in.
Well, the temperature beginning to rise a little bit here, and if Widnes really, well as they've played, try to take the game down the middle to Bradford, it really could be their undoing, because that's where Bradford is strong. A little bit of success that Widnes have had it away on the fringes, and in my opinion that's what I want to continue doing. Meanwhile, it's Bradford on the attack. Trevor Clark zips away from half-back, gives a good pass to Medley, but Medley couldn't take it, and the ball goes down. Another good chance gone begging.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a little girl lost in the stadium. Her name is Joan Martin. Her grandfather, who I believe she's come with today, come to the back of the stand that Joan's waiting there for.
So something of an escape there for Widnes. Medley steaming up, trying to take that pass, but knocking on as he did so, just about 8 or 9 yards out. And Widnes now with another chance to clear their own lines. Darren Wright makes it to the 22. The Widnes need 1 or 2 runs from the bigger forwards. David Smith comes onto that one short. Now David Hume onto Hammond, but Hammond met as soon as he caught that ball. David Hume hoping to perhaps draw one more defender to him. And now his brother Paul Hume taking play into the Bradford half. Goulding with the kick to the corner. Is there going to be enough on that? There is. The sloping corners at Bradford certainly helping to keep that one in play as Kebby goes for a little dart. And now Watson standing up the defence. A real danger man, Dave Watson. Widnes have to keep a close eye on him in this half if they protect this 12-10 lead.
Watson really hasn't got into top gear yet, but he's looked Bradford's most dangerous player. Clark to Fox. Very late tackle on Fox on that occasion. Managed to keep the ball live. Good play from Shelford. This time gets away to Simpson. Simpson's got good pace. He's got a man inside him if he uses his head properly. Draws his man, but obviously, as you can see, he didn't really make the most of the opportunity. Medley close in support with Trevor Clark, but it's still Bradford. Heron feeds the ball to Watson. Watson likes it. Now it's No Love, the big powerful centre. Has his ankle trip, but he's still going, and the big fella's over. That's a good try from Paul No Love. Well, as I said earlier, the instructions from Peter Fox were to move that ball wide, and really Bradford Northern following those instructions to the letter there. First of all, a very good break by Roger Simpson. I thought initially they hadn't really made the most of it. Simpson had a couple of options inside him, didn't quite get the pass out, but then Bradford exploited the gaps out wide. A good strong finish by Nolan. I thought at first he'd been tackled, but the guy had the strength and the power to recover his posture and dive over in the corner.
Well, that's what Bradford paid all the money for. Newlove's second effort after he'd been grounded. Not many centres would have got up and made that try with the cover coming across. I think Widnes will be disappointed. They didn't close the move down on the right-hand side earlier, allowed Simpson to get away, and he made good ground down the touchline. Widnes just caught out a little bit, and they'll be pleased to see that conversion attempt waved away. It means they're still in touch in the game, but really they haven't made the kind of start they would have wanted to this second half. I think an ideal start for Widnes would have been to keep it tight for 10 minutes, keep the scores the same, and maybe prey on any mistakes Bradford made as they tried to force the pace a little bit. And instead it's gone all Bradford's way. Widnes not quite had the same snap that they had in the first half. I think they'll be looking at least for a period of consolidation now following this kick-off, but Bradford should really have their tails up.
So it's Bradford with their noses just in front. Dixon clears his own line. This time it's little Roger Simpson coming in to help the forwards. Clark, who's getting more into the game as it goes along, feeds Medley. This time it's Roe Parlin, and here we see Bradford playing a little bit closer to the rucks, and then they're looking to move this ball wide. So it's Fox to Heron, the playmakers for Bradford. Heron stepping inside, doesn't get the best of passes out. Was it an interception? Yes, said Mr. Holdsworth. That'll be Bradford's Heron ball. A little bit of let off there for Bradford. If Hume had managed to cling on to that one, Bradford certainly would have been under pressure. Bradford maybe planning a little move. David Heron giving instructions to Watson. Watson into the line very early. Gets the ball as Watson decides to take them on, does he? Short ball to Shelford. Yes, it obviously was a set piece. Spruce giving Shelford something a bit of a facial massage there as Summers drive the ball in. And now it's Heron. Worked tremendously hard as Heron, been greatly impressed by him. Certainly been a driving force behind Bradford so far as David Hobbs Holds the ball up, lovely ball to Shelford, the gap's there. Shelford's got a man inside, Piers Medley, and that's a class try from Bradford as Medley goes over. Well, a superb pass there from David Hobbs. There's not many number 8s in the game that can exploit an opening like that. Obviously going back to his formative years at Pontefract Rugby Union Club where he used to play at stand-off. A superb pass out to Shelford. Shelford drove the ball forward. Didn't have the pace to score himself, but once again some excellent support play by Paul Medley, who rounded the move off by carrying on over the line. A little bit of slap defence there from Widnes, allowing him to go right under the post, making that all-important kick a little bit easier for Derek Fox.
Well, it's a complete change around in fortunes. Bradford, with every opportunity they've had in the second half, have finished it off, and finished it off in the best possible manner with a try, and this time converted by Fox. So from trailing by 6 points at half-time, they suddenly find themselves 8 points to the good at 20 points to 12, and Widnes making a change. Coloto coming back after a long-term injury, obviously starting to feel the pace, and replaced by Paul Davidson. But more than anything, I think Widnes need a period of play with the ball in their hands. They've not had a good spell of possession for some time. But Bradford, with forwards like Dixon and Medley and Hobbs starting to run strongly, now seemingly posing more of a threat than at any time in the game.
Well, I think Bradford will be looking to bring the substitutes on any time now. Hamer and McGowan, very hot out there, I'm sure. The forwards especially are feeling very, very tired. Although it's been all northern, you said it's been all northern this half, and when you get on top like that, it's amazing how your legs become strong. Shelford again, good ball to Simpson. Once again, there's 3 support players inside, and Simpson really not making the best of it again. A good interception by Golding. He thought it came off Roger Simpson, disputing Mr. Holsworth's decision, but a good play once again by the little fella. And once again, it's his right wing where I think it was once again the Hobbs-Shelford combination, finding the gaps out wide, where Peter Fox said there would be. Oh, Derek Fox, Northern very, very deep on this occasion. Shelford just recovering, having a little bit of treatment. Watson with the inside ball, uses the foil. Now it's No Love. No Love streaking away from the defenders. Excellent ball to Kebby, but Kebby couldn't manage to hang on to that one. And once again, it was the international class of Paul No Love, sucking in two international players in Wright and Myers, and then getting Kebby away. But on this occasion, I don't think Kebby was ready for that one. And the ball, unfortunately for Bradford, fortunately for Widnes, went to ground. But once again, No Love looking very, very dangerous, Paul.
He did indeed. Darren Wright had to be at his best just to get the tackle in, but Newell's still getting the pass away. I think Kebby would have been unsighted as he was throwing that ball around another player. But Widnes being exposed now, certainly on their own left flank, an unfamiliar centre-wing combination, Hammond and Hadley. And Andy Ireland coming in for some treatment there. The Bradford pack not really playing as a unit in the first half, but really starting to get the game together now. As Paul Hume takes play up to the 10-metre line. Davidson, his first run, throws that ball inside. Roy Powell knocking it down, and Widnes should get possession and are forced to make a second change. It looks like Darren Wright injured himself in that last-ditch tackle on Paul Newlove.
Number 14, Andy Halliwell, replaces number 3, Darren Wright.
So Wright's limping gingerly from the field. Aidan Halliwell replacing him. Better play from Widnes as Stuart Spruce cuts up the middle. But losing Darren Wright, a big blow to Phil Larder. If there's one thing he's short of at the moment, it's experienced centres. No John Devereux, not back from Australia. Andy Courier now moved to Featherstone. But Widnes with the first real possession in the Bradford half for some time in this game. Bringing Faimalo back on the inside ball. McCurry to the short side, onto Myers. Myers stretches out, and the referee gives the try. So Widnes proving, as they did in the first half, that if they can actually get down into the Bradford half and don't get sucked up by the forwards, when they're given the chance, they can make something of it. Steve McCurry darting around the short side, a little pass to David Myers, and Myers stretching out, just got his arm over with the ball, and although it squirted free after he touched down, Mr. Holder said enough downward pressure, and Widnes perhaps back in the game now, trailing by 16 points to 20 with this touchline conversion attempt from Goulding to Cook. So Widnes just taking a breather while Goulding attempts this conversion from the touchline. Hopefully from a Widnes point of view, that score will have given them fresh heart. They've been taken to the cleaners in the last 10 minutes. And Goulding from the touchline has stroked over a fabulous goal. And if Widnes were wondering where the next goal kicker was coming from, well, Bobby Goulding is staking his claim to kick the goals for the season. That touchline effort, bringing Widnes back to 20 points to 18. And as my co-commentator mentioned just a few moments earlier, time for Bradford to make a couple of substitutions. Beneficiaries Steve McGowan and John Hamer, good players to have on the bench, replacing David Hobbs and Brian McKebby. So just closing in on midway through this second half, again 20 points to 18, and we couldn't have asked for a better start to the season.
No, it's end-to-end stuff. Nice open play from both sides. It's been an excellent second half so far. As once again Widnes come away this time in the shape of Spruce. Straight swaps for Bradford Northern there. McGowan going on the wing for Kebby. And Hamer slotted into David Hobbs' prop position. And Hamer involved straight away. A tremendous work out of John Hamer, both in attack and defence. You'll see him taking that ball in. And circling round the ruck. Young David Smith, the youngster, was very impressive last year on the occasions he played for Widnes. But once again, Bradford letting McCurry exploit that little gap round the play the ball. An excellent break by the Widnes youngster. He managed to get the ball away, but what a silly pass. And really, Paul Medley lying spread eagle on the floor. The ball goes straight to him and giving him the easier chances. And really, Widnes being their own worst enemy once again there. But once again, Bradford, you can see, having Derek Fox, the ball player, take the ball in this time at Watson. Really the forwards not putting the pressure on like they should be doing. I'm sure this is why Fox has brought Hamer on. This is Roy Powell this time. Once again, a very, very slow play the ball. Switch of play. This time, I think maybe Fox playing to a cross kick, maybe behind the defence. There's the kick, it's up in the air. Very, very high. Spruce comes for it, takes it well. Really, Roy Powell not putting the Widnes youngster under the pressure that he could have done.
Davidson gets that one away to Myers. It's pity that ball wasn't released a little bit earlier. Widnes had a 3-2 for a moment. Goulding into by Marlowe, but that pass a little bit low round by the second rower's knees. And Widnes on a couple of occasions, that one and from McCurry's break, may have cause to regret losing possession. I think it's hard to pick on one incident, having just conceded 3 tries at the start of this second half. But I think McCurry should have held on, as Summers struggles away from one tackle. A really strong half-back, Neil Summers. And Northern now just 10 yards from the line.
And I'm sure Northern will be looking to move this ball wide. Hamer goes in with a little settler. Just giving Derek Fox a chance to work his options out. Summers and Powell all lined up, heading a little bit wider. There goes the ball to Fox. Holds the ball up, there's the gap for Dixon. Dixon unloads it, but no, not deep enough. McGowan with his first touch out to Newlove. Looks round him for the return pass. Some nice interpassing there by the Bradford three-quarters, but not coming to much really. And that'll be a nice little tap, 22 for the Widnes defence. I don't know if you noticed, Paul, but this pitch doesn't seem to be marked out right to me. Where they're tapping from now, the 10-yard in the other direction, doesn't seem to be there. I thought they had to mark out in 10-yard intervals now. Or 10-metre intervals.
I think so. Even the 22-metre line has gone to 20 metres now, and it certainly looks a bigger gap between one and the next one. I think the mower had a bigger cut on the Widnes 20 in the Widnes 20-metre area anyway. The Widnes physio causing Widnes to have to change direction on that attack. Bobby Goulding, he needed some attention. Halliwell goes himself, just a chance to get involved. And Widnes looking for a good kick from Goulding. Kicks for the far wing. And that's good tackling from Hammond. That's what Widnes needed, a chance just to keep Bradford close to their own line. And Watson comes to the short side. And Bradford need the forwards back in position. It's been 3/3 so far running this ball out.
Once again, an excellent kick by Goulding, really putting Bradford under pressure. As you said, it's the 3/4 clearing the line at the moment for Bradford, but Heron once again stepping. Great ball inside to Fox, but Fox hasn't taken. That'll be play on. Goulding comes away. Shimmy's left, then Shimmy's right. But then a poor pass by the Widnes number 8, Andy Ireland, when really had the opportunity to put Bradford under pressure, but he's only a youngster. I'm sure he'll learn that. Bobby Goulding and the Young brothers being very understanding, tapping the youngster on the shoulder, telling him to forget about it, let's get on with the game. I thought for a moment there Mr. Holbrook was penalising Derek Fox for feeding. I thought, I couldn't believe my eyes, but I was wrong as Watson comes into the line, met by a very strong challenge. Paul Davidson on that occasion. But once again, he's very, very slow to play the ball out to Fox. Fox got the options out wide to Summers, who does well to get the ball to Shelford. Paul Dixon, been quiet this half, but now he's coming more and more into the game. Dixon renowned for his runs out wide, so obviously Bradford with lots and lots of firepower when you've got Medley and Dixon both on the same side. As Heron steps inside again and still manages to get that ball away. This time it's Hamer, Trevor Clark, but Bradford aren't going forward. Clark gets that one away to Watson, to Summers. Nice football, can Summers just flick it? He can't, a foul. Watson's inside, now can Watson finish? He's an international player, that's Medley. Once again, excellent support play by Medley. Maybe a hint of a little forward pass there, but one really can't criticise that so much. It was good play by Bradford. He managed to keep the ball alive on 3 or 4 occasions when it could have been dead. Widnes just not closing the game down. Eventually it was Summers who managed to get Watson away, and Watson, showing his international class, just took the ball to Spruce and fed Medley, who went inside. What is that, his second try, Paul? For his second try of the day. So really, once again, the game, after Widnes have done so well to get back into the game, allowing it to slip away from them by an elementary mistake by the young prop when he passed it into touch on that occasion.
As Widnes, I think, are starting to tire a little bit from their efforts, and there, Medley again to finish it off. Certainly one of the best finishers amongst the forwards I've ever seen, and possibly the fastest second rower, I think, in the game. He doesn't look to have lost any of his pace. And Bradford, we're now looking for him to do some work at the other end of the field. This is precisely what he is doing. And that pass, well, it's a knock-on now. Bradford would have been right, the referee would have been right to get away with that one. It didn't hit anyone's hand, it went backwards, it was just hacked on, but then diving on the ball just at the end, a little knock-on from Summers. So Coloto getting back onto the field. If the referee sees him in time, stops the clock. And Imosi Coloto replaced himself just a few moments earlier, now coming on for the hard-working David Smith.
Number 11, Mr. Coloso returning to replace number 10, David Smith.
Always a hard place to come for forwards, Odsall. I can guarantee that Bradford will always have a tough pack. Peter Fox sets great store. By forwards, he'll do some work, so the Widnes pack will know they've been in the game after this one. Davidson, well, the referee says that one was stolen. And 9 times out of 10, referees are going to say that. It's always hard for them to make a decision. I agree with my co-commentator. It's not a rule I like. Stealing the ball used to be as much a part of the game as anything else. And now it's been taken away from clever players. And Goulding, obviously feeling there's enough time, looking to pull Widnes back to within 6 points. He's in virtually an identical position to where the opening penalty shot was taken by Derek Fox. Much earlier in the game now. And Goulding has kicked well. And has he got that one straight enough? In fact, he's not. So both players, when presented with shots from in front of the posts, haven't been able to put them over.
Ladies and gentlemen, the John Molan Construction Company PLC man of the match award this afternoon.
Well, possibly one of the longest sponsored man of the match names I've ever heard. And unsurprisingly, goes to debut boy Paul Newlove, who in this second half has shown the class that should really take him into the Great Britain team to face the Kiwis. And Widnes getting the ball back from that dropout. And the island just struggles on. Well, a long time for the referee to call held. David Hume, captain, trying to spark a last effort from his players. No one up in support, and Coloso knocking on. And unfortunately for Widnes, too many occasions that's been the story. They've kept in touch with Bradford, but just when it's mattered, when they've been looking to get back into the game, those little knock-ons have had a devastating effect.
Yes, they've always seemed to make them when they're really showing a bit of a skirmish going on between them. Also Coloso and now little Derek Fox getting a little bit of treatment. And really, this is what the game don't want to see. One of the Northern players laid out. I think it's Paul Newlove. Eventually, order is restored. But initially, it was the 2 second row men. And little Derek Fox went in, and I'm afraid he got himself ambushed by a number of Widnes players. And of course, the Bradford Northern players went straight in to help went to help the captain. Oh God. Well, it's a sin bin in offence for a Widnes second row man, and I'm just waiting to see whether Medley's going to get the same treatment. Looks as though he maybe got away with it, but to me, to be honest, it looked 50-50. Half a dozen of one and half a dozen of the other. But really, going back to that kick that Bobby Goulding missed, very, very vital one that for Widnes. Would have brought them back to one score. As it is now, they need to score twice in these last few minutes. I'm sure Bradford Northern now try running the clock down. Derek Fox will go to the ball. Thought really the referee overreacting a little bit there with the 10 minute in the bin for Coloso. Paul, I don't know what you thought.
I'd have to defend referees who send players off when there's been a skirmish of that size. Too many people involved. Foul play or striking an opponent, I think, should be punished at least by the sin bin. If the referee didn't see it, it'd be difficult to send a player off completely. Now, how much the linesman saw, whether it was, like you say, 50-50 or entirely one player, is debatable. But I think on those occasions, especially if one of the officials has seen at least the start of it, I'd have to defend him putting one player, or as many players as were involved, off the field. I think it's a good choice of Derek Fox to go for goal and calm things down. I think if he'd have taken a tap and maybe run at the defence again, 1 or 2 scores may have been settled, and we could have ended up with 1 or 2 more players joining Coloto on the sidelines. And Fox has sent that one wide of the posts. So the 2 half-backs missing a penalty apiece in the last couple of minutes, and Goulding dropping out. So Bradford with a 1-man advantage, and really with Widnes trailing, needing at least 2 scores. That was the last thing they needed, as Simpson again heads off down this touchline. He's been given plenty of room to work this afternoon, Roger Simpson, and has generally made the most of it. So Bradford with another chance to attack, 30 yards from the Widnes line.
It's that man John Hamer taking the drive into the Widnes line. Summers again. And I would say Northern now will be looking to exploit this Widnes defence. I've got the extra man. Should be appearing out wide. Man of the match, Newell, slips the ball inside to Steve McGowan. This time Bradford can't keep the ball alive. Fox to, I have to say, my man of the match for Bradford, David Heron, who puts a lovely ball inside to Roy Powell. David Hobbs just caught off the ball. Watson to Fox. Fox decides to kick a little cross kick through. Very, very difficult one to take. But Hume taking the ball. Another chance for David Myers now. Well, I'm sure David Myers should be able to give Heron the outside. Steps him inside, and really I was expecting a bit more from David Myers there. He had a clear chance down the outside, Paul, but decided to take the option inside.
Yeah, I'd like to see Myers just pin his ears back there and go for the corner. As you say, there wasn't too much cover around, and Widnes now trying to keep the ball alive. Davison just overrun, but I think his arms were clamped. That was a good chance for Widnes, who at the moment are down to 11 men. David Hume can't get that pass away. Andy Ireland receiving treatment in back play. Carl Hammond looking to pick up a runner, does so, but no gap there. And Widnes now starting to really feel the effects. More assistance coming on for Andy Ireland, and 1 or 2 other players looking to be struggling. Goulding doing it all on his own at the moment. Lets that ball go, but it'll go to Bradford. And Widnes, I think, will be happy just to hang on for these last few minutes. David Smith coming back on as Ireland led from the field. Looks like he's carrying an arm a little gingerly. And Widnes, who are short of strength at the moment throughout the club. Phil Larder could do without any injuries like this, particularly some more of his front rowers.
Fox to Dixon. Dixon's seen a gap. Still going strong with Paul Dixon. Trevor Clark in good support. Roy Powell stepping past one. This time, well, I thought he'd lost that one. Miss Holder said play on. Trevor Clark switches round, gives the ball to Fox. Fox tries to find a gap behind Myers. Will it hold up? Both Widnes, both Myers and Spruce there. Possibly not the best of options to take by Derek Fox when they have 2 men when 1 man extra on now. I thought maybe he'll try to exploit them on the flanks. So it's Myers on inside board. Well, at 26-18, Paul, I'm sure he won't be completely happy, won't Phil Larder, but it could have been worse for Widnes, compared to the turmoil that the club's been going through over the last couple of months.
Well, there were many people predicting that Widnes would come here just to be on the wrong end of a hammering, and it's only gone wrong in one short spell. Phil Larder was promising before the season started that from the players he had, we'd see lots of honesty and lots of commitment. Well, I don't think anyone can doubt that we haven't had that this afternoon. 26-18 is probably a lot closer at this stage than most people thought it was going to be. But he has got some real committed characters still left at the club, and I think he'll be happier when he gets his 2 Australian imports into the pack and John Devereux back in the 3 quarters, just to stiffen up the team a little bit, perhaps add a little bit more pace and strength. and maybe results like this one can be turned around just a little bit. There hasn't been that much between the two teams. Bradford's extra pace in the second half and finishing just making the difference. And I think now on this second half performance, they're good value for the 26-18 lead.
So really Northern now, really finding the gaps. Shelford takes the ball alive to Fox. Nice passage of play from Bradford. McGowan to Hobbs. Hobbs holds the ball to Newlove. Newlove's shoulders one off. Still driving to the line. And a real posse of Widnes defenders there, holding the big Bradford centre short. Fox gets a good ball away to Watson, who powers onto the ball. Well, little David Watson came onto that ball like a 17-stone forward, ricocheted off the Widnes defence and just spun round to touchdown. And really the Widnes fence looking very, very tired on that occasion. The gap was there. So Dave Watson getting himself on the score sheet for Bradford. Calling one or two of the Bradford players, but it's a new team for Bradford, and the fans are going to have to realise it's going to take them a while or two to gel together. For new faces, you can't just go out there and play. And I'm sure when the side does settle down and... Meanwhile, Paul Newlove leaving the park with his last few seconds, and Bremer can be replacing him, and a real round of applause for the... I'm sure it's going to be an Oxford favourite for many, many years to come. So it's little Bobby Golding who gets us away again. He's certainly been my man of the match for Widnes. He's had a tremendous game, been involved at everything. He's marshalled his troops superbly. He's kept Northern pinned back with some superb touch-finding kickings and placement kicks. And he's really been at the hub of everything for them. Well, a poor pass on that occasion from David Watson. But the referee giving a knock on it. It's something that's another rule that frustrates me, Paul. Obviously, definite advantage to Widnes. Widnes come away with the ball. But obviously I'm wrong here because Mr. Old was saying it was a Bradford knock-on, but you do see the occasions when a team knocks on, the opponents pick it up. It is obviously their advantage, but they bring them all back and have a scrum down and the game stops.
They do it happen in the first half when Imosi Coloto picked one up in space, but had to come back for the scrum. I think Widnes were unlucky there again. I don't think a Widnes player played at it. I think it was just thrown out, hit Isini Faimalo, and as he ran on to pick it up, the referee ruled it had been a knock-on. But I don't think Widnes can have too many complaints at the way things have gone, particularly late on in the game. Coloto receiving a generous round of boos as he comes back out. There can't be much more than a minute or so to go. In fact, there's even less than that as the hooter sounds. So Coloto never back on the pitch, and Widnes going down in his first game of the season by 30 points to 18. The players shake hands at the end of the match, and I'm sure Bradford will be glad once they got the game together that they did run in the tries. They saw the best from Paul Newlove, but Widnes and their coach Phil Larder shouldn't feel too dispirited. They'll have better days than this. They'll pick up wins, especially if they show the same kind of form and commitment, and they know that there are the players to come back to help them out of the crisis they're suffering at the moment.
Yes, as you say, Paul, a lot of commitment by the Widnes players. Obviously going to go, I think it was obvious they're going to be outgunned towards the end. But I'm sure Peter Fox will be reasonably satisfied by that performance. A little bit of a frustrating first half, first 40 minutes of the season. Lads new to the team, but eventually things began to settle down as the fans show their appreciation now for... Basically, they've done well at Bradford Northern in the second half, followed instructions, and I'm sure everything all goes well for the future. So a final score from Oxford Stadium then of Bradford Northern 32, Widnes 18.